anyone that lives, so the district stretches, it's a gerrymandered monstrosity. I don't know if you've seen the district.
Illinois' 9th Congressional District. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so sick. It's so sick. It looks like if Massachusetts was on Ozempic.
You will pet me, whether you like it or not.
Running for Congress, you've seen her for years on this broadcast because she has spent a good deal of time initially at Media Matters, tracking right-wing extremism and right-wing commentary in general, and now she's taken the fight to Congress, Illinois 9, and very excited to have you here. First time meeting in person. We've been talking for a while now.
Yeah, it's crazy to meet you in person. I actually did see you at the DNC when we were out with Uncommitted, but all of us were asleep we actually got like 3 hours of sleep. So, but yeah, just got off the flight. Katherine and I flew out at 6 a.m. and we're glad to be here. How's it going, man?
Hell yeah. I mean, it's going. I don't know. When people are like, oh, dude, like, how are you doing? I'm like, well, things are not great. Things are not great in
Gestapo everywhere.
Yeah.
No one can afford anything. Everything's gambling and Nazis. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. America's collapsing right in front of our eyes. But hopefully there are brave patriots such as yourself and many others that are trying to do whatever they can to hold this country together. So before we get started, let's talk about who you're running against and like what made you want to run for office, because you're pretty young.
Yeah, I'm 26. So there's 17 people in my race, which is a lot. But when I launched, it was 0, except for the incumbent. I was the only person to launch before the incumbent announced her retirement.
Yeah.
And now I am tied for first with a local politician. And then the candidate right below us is fully funded by AIPAC. But early voting starts February 5th. Hi, baby. And the election's March 17th, so we're like right there. It's been almost a year since we started, and It's crazy.
Who's the local politician you're running against right now that you're tied for first place with?
Mayor Daniel Biss. He's the mayor of Evanston. He ran for governor in Illinois. He's a nice guy. And
all right, what makes you better than him though? Let's get right to it.
I think what differentiates me from the rest of the field, I just say in general, is a few things. First off, I'm the only grassroots candidate in my race. I don't take any money from billionaires, don't take any money from corporate PACs, don't take any money from Republican funded PACs. I'm the only person that understands how to fight the right because I've been doing it for my career. Illinois does a lot of things correctly, which means that until very recently, you aren't dealing with people like Stephen Miller and Elon Musk on a daily basis. I lost my job because Elon Musk sued us and then he deposed me, which is the dumbest 8 hours of my life. Additionally, we use our resources differently. We actually use our resources to help the community. We're reaching out to young people. I don't do call time. We actually stream on Twitch like 2 or 3 times a week, which has been much more successful than calling rich people all day. And I've also been forcing all of my opponents to be more aggressive against the administration and progressive in their views.
Yeah, you're also, as far as I know, the only candidate in the race that has been called out directly by the administration, right?
I'm the only candidate under federal indictment. And also we
have a criminal here in the building.
Alleged
criminal.
That was for my protests at ICE, at the Broadview ICE facility. And the first time I went, there were like no politicians there. Same the second and the third time. And eventually other people came out, a lot of my opponents actually. And I was actually happy about that because it makes all of us safer, all of that. But it took that pressure and they kind of stopped. But I'm glad that a lot of them are stepping up when they can. But I don't think that they should need that pressure in the first place. I want politicians where that's their first instinct.
Hell yeah. So they're following your notes here. But you're doing this not because you want to make a name for yourself, but you're doing this because this is something you believe. It's not like this was the first ICE protest you've attended, right? Before you were running for office, you were still doing the exact same things you're doing now.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, was sleeping on the concrete at the DNC. Not my first time being tear gassed this last year,
Yeah.
But this is, I have just decided to run like a normal person. It's very experimental, I know, and it's been working, but I would just like to not have to set the bar. I want this to all be the expectation rather than the exception.
So what are the areas of need for your campaign right now? I'm just hitting you with with the good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Right off the jump. Let me grab a drink real quick.
The big thing, AIPAC's going to be putting maybe 15 million into my race. So if anyone's able, donating at catforillinois.com is the best way to help our campaign right now. Also volunteering at our Discord. Hope the mods are ready. Discord.gg/catforillinois. And anyone that lives, so the district stretches, it's a gerrymandered monstrosity. I don't know if you've seen the district. It goes
Let's take a look.
It's wild. I'm just going to let you look at it before I even explain.
That's not
the district.
Yeah, that's not hold on. Okay. Illinois' 9th Congressional District. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so sick. It's so sick. It looks like if Massachusetts was on Ozempic. It goes from Uptown, Evanston, and then to Skokie, and then like this weird winding snake pattern all the way to Crystal Lake, which is that's the only area in Chicagoland that voted for Trump the last 3 elections. So it's like very, very long. Actually, when you were in Chicago, we were doing our 12-hour stream. And the reason we were so far away is because we started all the way out there.
Yeah.
So if anyone lives there, remember, vote. Tell your friends.
Okay. All right. So one of the things is you're looking for people to volunteer, and you're looking for donations to your campaign. Your grassroots funded in its entirety. Where can people donate?
Catforillinois.com, cat with a K. We also have merch now. We did Fuck APAC week last week. We have Fuck It, Let's Be APAC merch, catforillinois.com/store if you want something out of it. We also have our live streams if you're interested in that. How narrow is that section around Buffalo Grove? It is tiny. It is wild. I've actually gotten a lot of shit for doing events out of district, and one of those events is literally across the street, like across the highway. But that's what happens with gerrymandering. But yeah, the best ways to support are donating at catforillinois.com, volunteering, discord.gg/catforillinois. You can phone bank, you can text bank, you can do all of this. And also just like telling your friends, telling your family, because this is our shot.
All right. So what are your policies? What are like if I were to reduce what you're running for to 5 agenda items, what would those 5 agenda items be?
Are we talking about this in like 2027, this administration, or like everything's great, let's go into that?
No, this administration just in general. Like, what are the 5 key policies that you could immediately identify?
So
like fast and free. Like I'm the Zoran thing basically, but like it's a little bit reductive.
Anti-authoritarianism. Those are our top 2 issues. Anti-authoritarianism. The house is on fire. We got to put out the fire to redo the house. And basic existence. Everyone deserves to afford housing, groceries, and healthcare with money left over to save and spend. I'm so tired of treating these like they're separate issues because they're not. But I also want to do a lot of AI regulation. That's something I want to spearhead in Congress. There is 0 federal regulations on AI, and I think that's something we can actually get Republicans to work on.
Okay. Do you have any more like?
Also, transgender for all, as someone said in the chat.
Yeah. What about more specific than that though? Like as far as what are some of the legislative agenda items that you are interested in pursuing?
In general, I can go into like in this scenario where we actually have control. I want to build more housing with federal incentives to work with local businesses. I want to ensure that we are taking action against corporate landlords. There are class action lawsuits against corporate landlords in pretty much every major city in the country. And that's a really good point. So
yeah.
Cute.
Okay.
I think that Medicare for all doesn't go far enough. We need single payer healthcare with, dental, mental, vision, and hearing coverage. But under this administration, especially, like the 2 things I think we can get cooperation on is AI regulation and then limiting CBP's jurisdiction to maybe 5 or 10 miles instead of 100 miles from Republicans that are getting screamed at by their constituents because they keep getting murdered by the Gestapo.
What kind of allegiances have you gotten from existing members of Congress and other like key officials in the Democratic Party or even outside?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't want to touch this race with a 10-foot pole because it's a 17-person race.
Yeah.
We were endorsed by Congressman Ro Khanna. We were endorsed by the Sunrise Movement, the Justice Coalition, if not now in Chicago. We have some other endorsements that we're working on in the background, but we're hoping to put those out next month.
Let me know. Hopefully I can, press some people if you need any help in that regard.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So big race, lots of people. There's a couple different names out there. What is I know I asked you this already, but like a little bit more specifically, like what do you think your biggest difference is? What are your opposition's like points on Israel? I know the third place person is super endorsed by Israel, and they're going to be dumping a lot of money into this campaign. Let's start there, actually. Why is AIPAC after you?
Well, first off, I'm Palestinian. Second, I have been pro-Palestine my entire life and advocated for Palestinian liberation for my entire adult life very publicly. And that hasn't changed with the campaign. I know so many people freaked out because I had a keffiyeh in the back of my launch video, and they were like, "Do you think this was on purpose?" Yeah, it was. And I'm really radical. They sent out this whole email where they were saying, "Hi, I could win because I have a radical agenda, which means recognizing Palestinian statehood. It means thinking the ICC is good." You are so distracting and so cute.
Yeah.
Hi,
We're working here.
And calling it a genocide. And neither of the person that I'm tied with or the person after will obviously call it a genocide. You know, it's one of these things.
They won't call it a genocide?
No, neither of them will.
That's
Yeah.
in this day and age, I feel like that is, you just don't want, like, that to me, aside from abject cruelty, the inhumanity of it all, and the denial of reality, is also a great way to identify someone that has like bad instincts in general and will not fight for the truth or will not fight for people at all. Like it's a good measuring stick, I think.
Well, that's the thing is like, it depends, no matter what your point of view of like why you're calling it a genocide or why you're mad about Israel, there are a lot of different reasons. A lot of people feel multiple of them, like human rights. I personally am against genocides, whether it's my people or not. Second, we can't afford to eat or go to the doctor, and we're sending billions upon billions for weapons. Just like worrying about our elections, like the amount that AIPAC pours into our elections, especially Republican money into Democratic primaries. There are all these issues. And so looking at it and then being like, I'm not going to address it at all. It's no wonder so many people stayed home in 2024.
Yeah. What's the district attitude overall on this issue? Is it like, because the Democratic Party's base of support right now, according to like latest polls, is around like 80% recognition.
Yeah.
80% of recognition of genocide, and similar percentages for wanting to stop weapons transfers to Israel, things of that nature. So, is your district similar in that regard as well?
Yeah, it's really interesting because Skokie, which is one of the largest parts of the district, actually had the most Holocaust survivors outside of Israel after World War II. There is a huge Jewish population in the district, and that doesn't translate to wanting a genocide. Like, I think that's something that a lot of people miss. When I ran, people were like, there's no way you could possibly win because you're Palestinian, and this district has Jewish people. And I'm like, that's so offensive.
But the incumbent, I was in favor of you running because I like you. I know your worldview for a long time. But the incumbent herself that you were seeking to run against initially, when there were no other candidates out there, is also one of the more progressive on this issue. Ironically enough, despite her age, she was one of the few congresspersons in the Democratic caucus that was actually better on the issue of Israel than everybody else.
Absolutely. And she's Jewish. And actually, when I launched, a lot of people were offended that I launched because they were like, how could you do this? This is so offensive. And I was really clear, like, this was not a vendetta against her. I actually think she's done a lot of badass stuff. As a Palestinian person, back in the aughts, she was advocating for Palestinian humanity. There are votes I would have done differently, especially in the last few years. But she boycotted Netanyahu's speech in 2015. Like, this is not a district that is pro-genocide. And
thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to. Is like this person you were initially running against. Like her position on the issue of Israel is far better than the overwhelming majority of Democrats, which to me implies that the district itself was clearly never interested in like punishing her at all.
No, and it's like, it's one of these things where I don't think my positions are that radical on this. I think that every civilian deserves safety. I think that children shouldn't starve. I think that war criminals should be held accountable. Like, anyone who commits a war crime should be held accountable. And I think that Palestinians need official recognition of statehood.
Someone said, why did she run? Why did she decide to run then? Brother, she was 89. Like, what are you talking about? She dropped out even though she was initially going to run again, but she's 89.
Fun fact, this district has been represented essentially by two people since the 1940s.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's insane. Like, what are you talking about? It wasn't malicious. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, that was one of the major reasons why I was like, yeah, no, this is good. Like, we need fresh blood in the in the halls of Congress. Like, we can't have people who are 80 plus still representing their constituents. Like, even if her heart is in the right place, at that point, it's like, you know, your body might not be able to follow up.
I'm 26 and I was like, wow, how do people do this for decades and decades? Because this is like the most rewarding shit I've ever done. But oh my God, it is the most exhausting. Running for office is so hard.
Well,
and
yeah, when you're 81 years old, sorry, she's not 89, she's 81. I apologize. But when you're 81, you already have your list of people that are, automatically donating to you, I suspect. So it's almost like it's an automated process.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. One of the other things that I want to work on in Congress is making it easier to run for office, especially with like bipartisan support to banning stock trading and stuff like that. If you are a working class person, it is so hard. I mean, I don't know how parents do it. Like I have zero money now. It's so unbelievably hard. You have to know rich people. There were so many things that I had no idea about till I ran, but I was really offensive by just running in the first place.
Yeah. Go Cat, tell us I said, what's up? Illinois 9 is behind you, and that he should have come on stream when we drove through the district. Okay, I tried to, but
he did try. Steve, you were with me. That's Steve, my buddy that volunteers on the campaign. Steve, you were there, you know. Also, I just want to give a shout out to my staff because I know y'all are watching. Our staff are huge fans. I actually brought a poster if you'd be down to sign it to put in the office.
Of course.
To be
honest with you, you wearing the merch and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got a whole ass merch bag over here. So
yeah, well, there's does that? Oh, that one's that doesn't have the list. That list needs to be updated. Unfortunately.
What if we didn't suck?
No, the.
Oh yeah, I actually wore this
of,
because we used it as inspo for one of our other merch pieces
Oh,
that we're
yeah.
putting out, and I was like, I want our merch to not just look like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
You brought me merch too, right? That's what I asked
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
all right
but,
here.
Okay, hell yeah.
You will pet me whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not.